Once again, good afternoon. My name is Marites Macapagal, and I'm from the MTA Organizational Strategy and Design Unit. And I'm here today to provide you trainings for managing Outlook. This is going to be a 1 hour session, and this is a recorded session that you could actually play at your convenience once it becomes available at the MTAU site. I will also share with you some of the resources that I have, which include some reference resources that you could actually use to be able to read more information about the discussion that we're going to have today. So anyway, during the course of this session, I'm going to turn off my video so you could focus on the screen that I'm going to share for the class. If you have any question, feel free to type your question in the chat or in the Q&A. And if you have any chance, I will be able to answer it, the questions directly during this session, or I could send you an email regarding your question. You could also send your question to my email address, marites.macapagal@nyct.com, and I will be glad to give you an assistance. Okay, so what is this class all about? Managing Outlook. Managing Outlook, this class, you will learn how to use Outlook to reduce clutter, stay organized, and save time. And that's our goal for attending this class today. So once again, let me stop my video and let me move on with my presentation. Okay, for today's learning objectives, participants will be able to create rules to move email effectively and minimize email in the same conversation. We also would like to learn how to manage outgoing emails by scheduling a later time, delaying them, and recalling them. Then we'll also learn how to group and sort messages and make efficient use of your calendar features to simply setting up single and recurring appointments. So those are our goal for attending this class today. So there are multiple ways to organize your inbox in Outlook. Outlook uses folders to organize messages, and Outlook also uses rules to sort your mail into folders. And plugging is also an email in Outlook is also another way of organizing your inbox in Outlook. So these are some of the ways, and that's what I'm going to start working on and show you. Organizing your inbox is vital to keep you productive, right? So we are going to start by showing you, of course, the use of the folder to organize your email. Now, I am not sure which way are you looking at your email. There are actually two ways. I use two ways of accessing my email. One is if you click on the start button and you see Outlook, when you select this option, will allow you to open what you call the Office 365. I'm going to click on it and I'm just going to show you how it works. Okay, so let me just give you Outlook 365. So there it is. I have multiple screen and it actually opened up. This is the look of the Office 365 Outlook. Okay, so let me minimize this. Another way of getting access to my Outlook, I'm not sure if you like using it, is by using the app. Okay, this is the app. Let me just share it with you too. Okay. Okay, there you go. This is the app, the Outlook app that I normally also use. So there are two ways of getting used to it. Look down at the bottom. I could use the app. The other one is by using the Outlook shortcut, and you get the Office 365 version of the Outlook. Now, there are so you might want to ask me, which one do you prefer? Again, that's your preference. It's up to you. I'm just going to show you the difference. It's up to you on how you're going to be able to use it. Now, look at the layout. Both of them, I am looking at my inbox and see how I'm able to see my inbox in here. The app, my app, There you go. You could also see my inbox using my folder inbox right there. And the layout is slightly different. Now, notice in here, I'm able to see all of those that are pinned and basically all of those that are, um, see that these are actually plug reminders for me, which I'm going to show you how to be able to do that. If you are only using the Office 365, that's okay. But if you would like to use the app, all you have to do is go to your, let me just show you in the app. Okay. If you go here and you click and you notice I have here my shortcut, right? In my browser, I have the shortcut for my Outlook, and I also have a shortcut for my app. And where did I get the shortcut? In reality, there is an option, and that's what you call my MTA today. Remember the use tense that we use? Okay, this is our tense, nyct.com tense. If you go to mtatoday.mta.org, okay, allow me to get in there. There you go. You will be able to get some helpful tools. When you navigate to the helpful tools, one of the options you get in your helpful tools under the IT is my MTA My Apps. And from that My MTA My Apps, you see a list. Okay, this is my apps already, but you have the list of the different apps available for all of us in MTA. And one of them is, of course, is Outlook. There you go. OneDrive and many more things to do. And once you select which particular app, you can have your own My Apps so that all the commonly ones that you use could be set under My Apps. And this is where I normally start my day by going to my apps and opening my Outlook using my apps. Okay, so let me just close this and let me close my mta.info. So this is my apps. So let's start by looking at the folder. So we said to use folder to organize your email. So how does a folder helps? So Outlook provides folder in which you could save and store the items you create, whether those emails are created by you or emails that you have received that you wanted to make sure that you keep them and organize them. So you could access this folder by using the default view within the folder pane in Outlook apps. Now take a look. If you look here, this is my app, right? The app view. There is the inbox, and this is under the folder view. So these that you see right there are all my folders. I have a lot of folders, and take a look. I have them in alphabetical order. So by default, it is in alphabetical order, right? Now, in my Office 365 view, if you click in here, you see also on this side, on your left, there's also the inbox where you could see also your different folders. Okay, so those are also your different folders down at the bottom. Take a look. These are also some of my folders, and they're also arranged alphabetically. So you see them on the list on your extreme left. Look here, it says drag your favorite folder here. So this is actually your folder listing, right? And this is what you call the Office 365 view. So you could actually access your folder using your navigation bar. This is what we refer to as your navigation bar menu. When you click on the folder right there, you could actually select and view the content of the folder. Like look at some of the folder I have in here. I have like, important emails. I have important notification. It could be under memo, and you might have some important memo from Jacob that you would like to use. and then specific person, specific names if you would like to keep a folder for that particular person. Let's say I have other folders that I have created from before, where we have newsletters that I keep before. I have my MS planners. So right now they're empty because I clean them every now and then. But then there are cases that I need to use them. So I did not remove the folder, but you could create any of this folder anytime. Okay, so how do I move and copy folders to another folder? And how do I create a folder? So I'm sure that is your question. How do we create a folder and how do you organize things? So let's start. And I'm just going to minimize this and I'm just going to simply use and close this, my favorites, and I'm going to use my app as an example. Notice right here, I have, these are actual emails I have on my work email, and I have here some informations in here. For instance, let me just use the Kronos reminder right there. So, and also some other emails that I have received. And there are some emails also that I have not even kept yet. So if you look, again, as I've mentioned, these are some of my folders. Take a look. When I click on the folder, it hides, but when I click on the folder arrow, it displays all of my folder, and they are arranged alphabetically. I could take a look if I kept a folder for a particular option. So you notice down at the bottom, I have a Zoom folder. Okay, and if I would like to move any of the items right there, or I could easily move it in various ways. I have been receiving emails also from, let's say I would like to get and create a folder, let's say coming from the Latinos and Friends, because they always send me some information reminder for some online chat or sometimes in pointers that they send. So if I right click on that particular email, take a look, or I simply select it, notice on top, see the moment I select it, notice on top I have option to move it, right? So I could move it to a folder. If I click on the drop down arrow next to move, these are my options. I could move it to some of the existing folder, or if I move it to another folder is my other option. I could also create a new folder if I don't have a folder for it. So look at this. So I could search for a folder. If I could say Latino, and okay, and it seems like it cannot find it. So it says create new. So if I click on create new, it's going to create that particular new folder for me, right? So that's, there you go. I have now the Latino folder. See how quick I cannot find it. So it says create new. So even Excel gives you the option that quick. So it gave me that folder Latino. Okay, so now you have that folder Latino, and if I click on that Latino right now, it moves automatically that particular email that I have selected. See how quick it does everything now for you. You created it, Outlook created it for you, and automatically moved the file. Now let me go back once again to one of my inbox. Okay. So I have here an inbox for Kronos, okay? And I know I have Kronos folder. There's my Kronos folder. And I have Kronos notification. Of course, this is just a regular notification, but I'm just going to assume this is one of the Kronos email that I have received that I would like to keep. So there are multiple ways of moving or copying it into the folder that was already created. One, if I select, if I select Kronos, right, from my inbox, I selected it, it's already selected. Notice it has the option to move, or if I right click on it, there is an option to move it or to copy it. Okay, and where you wanted to move it or copy, if it's not here, you could actually say create a new, copy to a different folder aside from what you have on the list. If you click on copy on a different folder, notice how it will give you the list of the different folder available for you. Okay, so that's actually the way to be able to find it. Another way of doing it, and then you could just select it. Another way of doing it is you could also simply use the copy and paste option. Remember how we always use the option Control C to copy and to move is Control X. So if I would like to make a copy of this reminder, let me just get something more um, precise or I am going to use orientation. Okay, there's my orientation, employees orientation email. Okay, if I go to orientation for you to be able to see, notice this is the orientation that I received in 9:15. So obviously I have a new one for orientation, which is dated, let me scroll down so that you could see the actual dated today. Okay, that is at 10:38 in the morning. So I simply just select this. Oops, I just wanted to select it. Okay, now once I have selected it, allow me to scroll to look for orientation folder. So it's easy to, there you go, orientation. So what I'm going to do is I would like to make a copy. So Control C, after selecting, I press Control C to copy this. And then from my orientation right there, I select this and I would say Control V to paste it. Okay, oops, and then paste. 1 second, how come it didn't paste? Should actually paste. Let me do it one more. It might have loosened it. Okay, so I could say copy. It should be Control C. Okay, and oops, I'm not going to snooze. And I'm going to go to orientation, Control V. Okay, I just wanted to copy here. It's not allowing me to do it. Let me try once more. Okay, let me just go back to my inbox, orientation, right here, Control C. And on my inbox, where is my orientation email? There you go, orientation email, Control V. There you go. It did it. Okay, so it's working very well with my Office 365. You see how I Control C to copy and Control V to paste. So for my app, the best way to do it is just simply right click on it and go move or copy. If I wanted to move it, again, I will just make a duplicate. So if I would like to move to another another folder, sorry. Okay, so I selected move to another folder. Okay, and I said, so I click on move. I selected, I move, and look at my option and search for the folder. If I click on folder orientation, there you go. I have my orientation and how you see how it quickly moved to orientation. Okay, so that allows me to be able to move it to orientation. And that's my orientation, employment, there you go. So those are the way to be able to move it. You could also do some dragging. For instance, let me look for Chronos. And this is my Chronos right there. Okay, this my last email is 5/9. So let me go back here to my inbox. And this is my Chronos. Okay, so in my Kronos timekeeping, and let me scroll to make sure I see Kronos. If you right click, oops, and then I could say, there you go. You see your option here to move. And where do you want? No, I don't want to go to Latinos. How come it's not deselecting? Let me just go back to, it should actually allow me to reset it. Give me a minute. It's not giving me the correct options there. Give me my inbox. Okay, so let's get Kronos. And I'm looking for my Kronos inbox. Oh, there you go. So I could drag to my Kronos, okay? And I could move or copy. I use my right mouse button. So let me move it. And there you go. So if I go to Kronos now, and that's what you have. Okay, so wherever you have it right there. It was sent yesterday, Thursday, 7:04. So that's how quick you could actually move. So let me minimize this and go back to this option. So you could drag, you could use copy and cut and paste, and you could also use the drag and drop or right click to get your buttons. Again, if you wanted to use the right click, let's say if this is for Zoom, you select your right click and you could move or you copy, and you could always say, I wanted to move to another inbox, or I wanted to move to a different folder, and you could just say Zoom. And if you see Zoom right there, so you select Zoom and that will automatically go. You don't even have to drag it. You just have to select your destination. And based on what I have just copied, there you go. That's a marketplace that I just recently moved. Okay, so you could actually move anytime, and that's how quick it could actually be done. Now, another way of being able to create a folder, right, is of course when you have and sometimes you would like certain email to automatically move to a folder once it reaches your inbox. When you want to do that, you could do that by creating rules. That when you receive a particular email, you create a rule to be able to open it. Okay, so how do we create a rule? So let me, in this is my, let's just go here to my Office 365, my Outlook. There you go. So you could actually create rules there. Okay. So if you are in your home ribbon right there, and notice right here, you have some options. And under the move group, you have rules. You could create your rules. So if you click on create rules, you notice you get this particular, when I get email with all of the selected condition, right? You could actually give this, do the following: display the new item, or select the sound, or move item to a particular folder. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So for instance, I have, again, if I get any email, right, for instance, automatically, I just wanted to create a rule. Let me select Zoom, okay? And I would like to create a rule every time I receive an email from Zoom. Okay, there you go. When I get email with all of the selected condition from Zoom application market, that's my condition. Okay, what do I want to do? Do the following: move the item to folder, and which folder? I would select the folder and I would look for the Zoom folder. There we go. And I click OK. So that's the rule I created. Now, what happened is if I receive an email from Zoom App Marketplace, it will go directly to the folder named Zoom. So when I click OK, the next question you will get is the rule Zoom app marketplace has been created. Run this rule on a new message received in the current folder. So these are all, right? So I would say run it. And if I click OK, watch it. You see how quickly it got rid of all the Zoom market email. Now, if we go to the Zoom, where is my Zoom folder? You see the number 4, which means there are 4 new emails that I have not opened, nor have I seen. So that's a sign for me to take a look at it to be able to view. So if I go and click, now these are the 4 Zoom app marketplace email that I haven't opened, and that will give me the opportunity to be able to review. That's how quick you could make a rule, so that when you are receiving multiple emails daily and you wanted to immediately segregate them and group them into a folder, that's the way to create the ruling. Another way of creating rules, if you're going to use the app, is if you are in the app, this app, you see you have your settings, right? You could go to the settings, and right there under the mail, you have rules. And in here, you could actually add a new rule. Okay. So in this options, you have more options. You have to put the name of your rule, add the condition, whatever condition based on what you have, and the actions that you are going to do. So these are the options that you could actually use. Now, also, okay, if you are in your, let's say again, in your settings, right? And you have your mail, and you are in your rules, notice these are all the rules. See, one of the rules that we have here is a Zoom app marketplace, which I just have created. If you wanted to edit that, you use this. If you don't need any rules anymore, okay, just like I always receive a Plum Benefits email, I immediately ask them to remove, to put it in a mailbox on a folder called Plum Benefits. If I wanted to delete this folder, I could simply delete the rule. Are you sure you want to delete the rule? I could say, okay. I could easily create that again. Okay. If I wanted to edit certain rules, all you have to do is click on the pencil, and that will allow you to edit and put additional information. Look at this. This is the name of my rules. This is my condition from, and what is the action. So if I would like to run rule now, you could run it just like what we did a while ago, to make those kind of changes. But that's how you create your rules, if to be able to for all your emails that you have received to go directly to particular folders, so you would not have hundreds of emails on your inbox. Okay, I hope this can help you. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to plug emails for follow-up, like reminders for yourself. Now, this is when I like to use the app. This is what you call plugging, right? There you go. It reminds yourself to follow up or take action at a later time. You know how when you receive an email and I'm still busy right now, but I need to work on this later. So not to forget, let me plug this. And that's what you call plugging. So how do we plug an email? So for instance, I am in the app, okay, let's say I would like to plug this emails. Okay, so I get this. Okay, so that email, the first one on the list, you notice on the right side in the app, you see these 3 buttons: mark as unread, plug this message, and pin this message. What is the difference between pinning it and plugging? So plugging, you're just going to put a red plug, and it will just be moved on the list in my app. So look at this, plug this message. Okay. And You notice it is in red color, right? However, when I would like to pin it, this is only plug and it stays where it was, right? However, when I pin it, which means I don't want to lose it in my list, I want it to be always on top. That's pinning. If I pin, not only by plugging it, you notice how it moves all the way to the top of my list of email. So it's not only plug, but it is also pinned. If I wanted to put it back to the regular list of email, I could unpin, but it is still plugged. Take a look. It's still plugged, but it is pinned. Now, I plugged this in the app. If you are on your regular 365, right, how do we see all of those that are plugged? By filtering it. Okay, we filter. So you could actually filter your options. Okay, so you could basically filter it. So you could also look at this option also. You see this? You have your focus group. You also have your others. And you see by the date, if you click on the drop down arrow, one of the option right there is called plug mail. So all of those mail that you have plugged previously, to be able to view it in the Office 365, you click on plug mails. There you go. Isn't it? This is the last email that I have just plugged, and you see it right there. Okay, so that is basically the plugging of the email. Now, once you're done, you could just always go back and put it back the way it is, all mail again, and date by recommended. I am in my regular 365 app. Now, the next option I'm going to show you, after showing you how the difference between the plugging and the pinning, is of course how to delay the delivery of messages. Sometimes there are some messages that you would like to create, but you do not want to send it at this very moment. For instance, it is just 1:35 in the afternoon and it is Friday. If you send it now, whoever is the receiver might forget it by Monday. So you would prefer that message to be delayed delivery until Monday morning, but you want to send the email right now. So that's possible, and you could do that. So when you're composing a message, what do? You select the more options from the tag group in the ribbon. So let us now click on new mail. Okay. 1 second. My computer is a little bit slow. Okay, there you go. It just went to my other window. Okay, so I have my new mail. Okay, there you go. So you notice right here, the to, the from, and the subject, and I have here the tags. You see the tags? I am using what you call the Office 365 view. Okay, so again, I wanted to be able to use this one. So for instance, I'm going to share and send a message to Win35. And I wanted to, in the subject, I'm just going to send test message. Okay. And I will just simply use sample exercise. Just making up something. Now, I would like to send this message. And what do I do? So it says, once you're ready to send it, you go to tags. You see there's arrow right there, message option. Click on it. In here, you see this dialog box. And there is a delivery options available for you. Now, what do we select to delay the delivery? Do not deliver. The second option is do not deliver before. Click on this text box. Do not deliver before. So make sure you put a check mark on the checkbox. When do you want to deliver? Do not deliver before Monday. And what time on Monday? Before, let's say, I would say 7 a.m. Because my colleague, let's say, starts working at 8 a.m. So when she comes in, it is going to be delivered at that time. Okay, save copy of sent message. And then you're going to type the name of the person that you would like to send this to, right? Contacts, you could also say, or categories. Look at this. Okay, but remember, I already have it there. So you could add additional contacts, but if not, that's okay. You already have it there. So do not deliver before this time. You're good? Now, you also, if you will be out and you want some replies to be sent to, you could also use this option for that purpose. Okay, and once you're done, you simply click on close. And you send it. Okay, now, how do you know it was not sent? On your list, look for the outbox. And there you go. You see on my outbox at 1:39 p.m., I have the sample exercise. It is there on the outbox. It is not sent yet. It's going to be sitting in the Outlook outbox until the time that I've requested my mail to be received. Okay, so that's how you delay messages. Now, how do you recall? If you and your recipient are all in the Microsoft Exchange or Microsoft 365 and in the same organization, such as our organization, MTA, you can recall or replace email messages that you sent. Okay, so in the sent message, how do you recall? I'm going to show you. In the sent item message, take a look. Send the message. Let's say this I sent to myself, because there are people requesting for it and also for my colleague. You select or double click so it opens on another window. So if I double click and it opens right there, then I go to file. Okay, and I go to info. And there you go. There is my option to message, resend, and recall. You see this? And if I click on the drop down arrow, this is where you could recall this message. Okay. And there's also what you call resend this message. Now, what is the difference between the two? If you selected this option, right? Recall this message, it says delete or replace a sent message, right? So those could be the unread copies of the message to recall the sent message. So if you selected the delete unread copies and replace with a new message, what will happen will be the original messages opens for editing. And when you select the send, the original email message will be deleted from the recipient mailbox and replaced with the new edited one. So that's what's going to happen. So what you do there is, again, when you double click and you select the option, which is, you see this, recall or send message, right? So if I recall the message, look at the option. This is what I'm talking about. You could delete the unread copies of the message, right? So that can happen. You could do that, or you could delete unread message copies and replace with a new message. So one or the other. So these are what I have mentioned to you. Again, and let me repeat. If you select delete unread copies and replace with a new message, what will happen is the original message opens for editing. Okay, so if I click OK, there you go. So this is now going to be it's going to be open and I could edit it and then you could send it. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Okay, so now it's giving me some kind of problem right there, but it's okay. But that's how it's going to be. Now, if you go to the other one again with the info and you select the option, I'm just going to use the other option. If I click OK, I would have another message coming up. Look at this. It will give me a totally new ones, right? And you could actually edit this the way you wanted it to be before sending. And there's the send options. You see the difference? So that's what happened. Now, let me just close this once again. And this is what we have sent. The other option is to remember when we went to file, info, and you wanted to be able to, oops, where's my sent items? Okay, and let me open it. And I go to file, info, and I said, click on the drop, resend this message. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. There you go. That's the resend message option. So those are your options when you would like to recall and replace messages. Okay, so you will be able to see it. You try it with a coworker to be able to check, and see how it works between the two of you. Now, sometimes, let me just close it. There are people, I do not know if you are the type of people, the person that would like to see multiple colors in your Outlook mailbox. Okay. Now, look at this. In your home ribbon, in the message, okay, you see tags. Okay. Under tags, I have categorized. There you go. Sometimes there are certain messages that I create and I would like to tag them, or even when I'm putting it in my calendar, I would like to tag them with colors. Okay. So I could create this. Look at this. I have for myself, I created computer classes for this color, development time for this color, external training for this color. So if anything that I'm putting in my calendar, I color code them. And these are my color coding. If I'm on vacation, it's also right there. All categories, I see it there, and you could actually be able to see it. So that's what you call tagging. Okay, so you could also say set quick click. There you go. And there you go. When you click on it, you will be able to create your categories. When single click on the categories column, add the following category. And these are the different categories. So that's what you call categorizing it by color. So you could categorize your mail by color. So for instance, I'm just going to cite an example. You might ask me, show me how to do it, right? So I'm just going to use one of this. So I will right click on the email and look at the categorize. And I would say, let's say this email is just about important for me because I need to pay attention to it. So I click on important. See the color? Oh, it's not too obvious. Let me get a different color, the brighter color. High priority. See the color? That's the color category. So when you see that color, you know what it is based on the category color that you have created. Okay? So that's another way of organizing your mail. So that's what you call categories under your tagging. Next, have you, I'm not sure, but this could be very useful for you to assign an email, create an email signature, right? So if you could actually do, if you're on Office App 365, that's the easiest way to do it, is go to compose and reply. And under your email signature, you could actually, this is my Outlook web signature. There you go. I have two of them, just the name and my Outlook web signature. Okay. So if I would like to rename it or delete it, you could actually do so. You could also create a new one down here. So these are some of your options that you could actually do. Remember a while ago when you have your rules, you could also put rules in here. You could actually also use the automatic replies in here. If you are going to be out on a vacation or you will be in a meeting or conference, you could do your automatic reply in this option where you could automatically turn this on and put your message on the date you would like your message to be. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. So let me discard it. Let me close this. Those are some of the tips that you have. Now, how do we sort your email automatically? Now, there are multiple ways of always, again, fixing your email. And let me just go to my 365 right there. You notice you have a focus in here. This is basically the ways to organize your email. You could sort it from the oldest on top or the newest on top, or you could arrange it based on these categories. And this is how you sort your email, depending on the category that you would prefer to. Could be by the subject, by the type, okay? That's the best way to be able to do it. So let's say I would like to see all of the plug email. There you go. If I would like to see all the unread emails, there you go. If I would like to see all the mentioned email, there's none. And if I wanted to get back everything, I could get it. If I click once again, I have it by the date. If you prefer it from the from, you notice the emails will be based on the name alphabetically. You see that? It is grouped by where it came from. See, from Andrea, from Aldaitita. So it's arranged alphabetically. If I wanted to do it, the two, the different names I have, again, alphabetically. So that depends on how you wanted it to be. I always prefer to use by the date so I could see the most recent email that I get. You see this? This is the email recall request that I did, and I got that notification. So anything that you do, you always get your notification. Okay, so that's basically how you could actually do it. Now, also, you see, trying to see what else I could share with you that I might have forgotten to mention. Guess that's good for the rules and the assigning and the category, even the follow-ups, we did that already. So if you wanted to see those are that need to be follow up today, you see it, follow up by tomorrow, you'd still see it. So these are your options and your category. Okay, so now let's move on to, it's almost time, about appointments. So if I click here and I wanted to get appointments, what's the difference between appointments and meeting? Appointments are activities that you schedule. Okay, let me just move this over. That you schedule in your calendar that do not involve inviting other people. Look at this. I wanted to set an appointment. There is no to because it does not involve inviting people, okay, or reserving resources. You can turn an appointment into meeting by adding attendees. But at this point, you know, I just wanted to create an appointment. So let's say you could create an appointment, but you wanted to put that because you know you're reminding yourself to do something. Okay, so let's say in my appointment, I would say I would like to meet and check, availability. Availability. That's all. And I wanted to do that on, let's say, Friday, and I wanted to do it 2 p.m. after this class, and I could put my location. Okay, so that's what I could do. And when you save it right there, and if you look at your calendar, oops, sorry, and you look at my calendar, I'm just going to remove what I don't need to see. So today at 2 o'clock, right there. Okay, so there it is. Meet and check availability. I know that for myself. Okay, that's dismiss all. It's already reminding me. But at least for myself, I know that I have to meet and check availability, and I know what is that all about. It's a reminder for myself. Look at all of this. Today's activities that I do and everything that I put in, I always like wanted to put some markation on my calendar. And that's how you create appointments. Again, you get it in here on new appointments, and you create the new appointments. And then you could schedule. Now, if you wanted to schedule with a meeting, you could schedule meetings instantly, schedule a meeting in Zoom, schedule a meeting in Teams, or you could create and invite people. Just remember, I told you this is an appointment, but if you would like to convert it into a meeting, you invite attendees. And there you go. The required and optional will now appear. So this is no longer, an appointment. This now turned to be a meeting. And one of the new features that you have is to turn off the forwarding of the meeting. So you are just telling the people, hey, I invited you, but do not forward this to the other people that are not part of the list of invited people for the meeting. And that's the option you have right here. There you go. Okay. Allow new time, allow forwarding. So take out the check mark to remove allowing of the forwarding. So people cannot forward meetings if they're not originally part of the invitation. I guess I have, oops, sorry. I think I have shared enough for today. It's almost time. And let me go back to where we are. So we did all of this already. And I am sharing this presentation with you. For all of you who are in this class today, thank you for coming. You are going to receive this with all this reference link. And also when you have time, I would request, if you can, to do the survey for this class, and I would appreciate it. And I hope to see you again. You could use if you're on screen right now, you could use your cell phone to be able to get the code, the QR code. Or when I send this to you, there's also a click to link to the survey, so you could actually the survey online for us. If you have any question, feel free to send me an email. And this is my name, marites.macapagal@nyct.com. And if you have any inquiries, you could directly send it to my senior manager, Ariel Signer, and this is his address. Okay, so you could take a picture of this. So if you have any question, and again, you could you could scan this QR code, or you could wait for my email and I will send you this survey so you could help me complete this survey for this class. Unless you have any question, feel free to, I don't see any questions for now, but for the chat, yeah, you could actually just send me also on my email. You have my email address that you could send to me. And let me stop sharing and let me show my video so I could say bid everybody goodbye and thank you for attending and coming to this class. I will see you again next time, and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending.